Welcome to our exploration of the intriguing and diverse children of Nyx, the primordial goddess of night in Greek mythology. In the vast expanse of Greek cosmogony, Nyx emerged as a primordial deity, a force of cosmic significance with origins in the very essence of creation. Born from chaos, the formless void that predates the ordered cosmos, Nyx embodied the profound concept of night. As the daughter of chaos, Nyx preceded even the emergence of the Titans and Olympian gods, making her a fundamental figure in the mythological genealogy. Her darkness encompassed the mysteries of the night, and she became the canvas upon which the stars are scattered, the dreams take shape, and the unseen forces of the cosmos find their dwelling. Nyx, nor good or evil, was the primordial personification of the night. A large number of Nyx's children occupied the contents of Pandora's box. From deities associated with dreams and sleep to those personifying strife and retribution, Nyx's children contribute to the colourful arras of Greek mythology. Join us as we delve into the fascinating stories and characteristics of these mythical beings. Introducing the offsprings of the Goddess Nyx, the children of the night. The personification of sleep, and was often depicted as a gentle and calming figure. As the god of sleep, Hypnos was often portrayed as a serene and tranquil figure, symbolizing the restful state of slumber. In art and literature, Hypnos was sometimes depicted with wings, emphasizing his ability to move swiftly and silently, granting sleep to both mortals and immortals. Hypnos was closely associated with his twin brother Thanatos, the personification of death. Together, they represented the peaceful transition from life to death, with Hypnos bringing the gentle embrace of sleep before the eternal rest that Thanatos oversees. He plays a crucial role in several myths. One well-known story where he tried to deceive Zeus during the war between the Titans and the Olympian gods. Hypnos lulls Zeus to sleep, allowing the other gods to act without interference. He was sometimes mentioned alongside Morpheus, the god of dreams. Morpheus was known for shaping and appearing in dreams, while Hypnos governs the state of sleep itself. Hypnos and his realm of sleep have been subjects of interest in literature and art throughout history. The idea of invoking Hypnos to bring peaceful sleep has been explored in various works. He held a unique and important place in myth, embodied the restorative and necessary aspect of sleep in the natural order of both mortal and divine existence. Thanatos, the personification of death, often portrayed as a somber and winged figure, emphasizing his role as a harbinger of death. His appearance was often contrasted with his twin brother, Hypnos, who personifies sleep, and he was responsible for overseeing the peaceful and natural transition from life to death. He was not considered a malevolent figure, but rather a necessary force in the cycle of existence. Thanatos and Hypnos, the god of sleep, are often mentioned together in mythology. Together, they represent the gentle passage from life to the state of restful sleep, highlighting the interconnectedness of these two aspects of existence. While Thanatos doesn't play a central role in many myths, he was occasionally mentioned. One notable story involves the mortal hero Sisyphus, who managed to cheat death twice. When Thanatos was finally able to capture Sisyphus, the cunning mortal had arranged for his wife to avoid the proper burial rites, which delayed his entry into the afterlife. In Roman mythology, he was sometimes associated with Moros, the personification of death. The two figures share similar characteristics and functions in their respective mythologies. Thanatos, along with the broader theme of mortality, has been a recurring motif in literature, philosophy, and art. The concept of facing and accepting death is a fundamental aspect of the human experience that has been explored in various ways. The Oneiroi were a large group of beings associated with dreams. The term Oneiroi translates to dreams in Greek. The notable Oneiroi were depicted as a trio of brothers, each responsible for a specific type of dream. The names commonly associated with the Oneiroi are Morpheus, the god of realistic, lifelike dreams. He was often portrayed as a shapeshifter, able to take on various forms in dreams. Phobator, the god of nightmares, bringing terrifying and fear-inducing dreams. His name was sometimes used interchangeably with Aiselos, Phantasos, the god of surreal dreams, which often involved strange or fantastical imagery. They were responsible for shaping and delivering dreams to both gods and mortals. Each brother had a specific domain within the realm of dreams, influencing the nature and content of the dreams experienced by individuals. The Oneiroi, dark-winged spirits of dreams, would emerge every night, akin to a flock of bats, from their cavernous dwelling in Erebos, the realm of perpetual darkness beyond the dawn. Morpheus were often closely associated with Hypnos, the god of sleep, and brother to the Oneiroi. While Hypnos induces sleep, Morpheus specializes in crafting and delivering dreams. The two worked in tandem to influence the sleeping experience. The Oneiroi were mentioned in various literary works, including Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, where dreams play a role in the unfolding of events and the communication of divine will. Their roles were as conveyors of both pleasant and unsettling dreams, highlight the diverse and sometimes enigmatic nature of the dream realm in the ancient Greek understanding of the cosmos. Hemera, the personification of day, and was associated with the daylight hours. She was mentioned as both a sister and a consort to Aether, the personification of the heavenly light. Hemera was typically depicted as a radiant and bright figure, symbolizing the arrival and presence of daylight. Her appearance stood in contrast to her mother, Nyx, who personified the night. In Roman mythology, the counterparts to Nyx and Hemera were Nox and Dies. The concept of these personifications parallels the Greek understanding of the primordial deities associated with day and night. In some accounts, Hemera was mentioned as the mother of Thalassa, the personification of the sea. However, variations in genealogy exist among different sources. The presence of Hemera in mythology highlights the ancient Greeks' recognition of the importance of daylight in their daily lives. The transition from night to day and vice versa was significant in shaping their understanding of time and the cosmos. She played a crucial role in the ancient cosmogony of the embodying the concept of daylight and contributing to the balance between light and darkness in the natural order of the world. Aether, the personification of the bright sky. He was associated with the upper atmosphere and represents the pure, bright air that fills the celestial realms. His essence was luminous and ethereal, embodying the qualities of clarity and light. Aether played a significant role in the cosmic order, particularly in the upper regions of the sky. His association with the celestial realms highlights his role in allowing light to penetrate the heavens. Depicted as a radiant and pure substance, Aether's luminosity symbolizes the transcendent qualities of the upper air. The word ether comes from the Homeric Greek, meaning pure, fresh air, or clear sky. While not central to many myths, Aether contributes to the Greeks' conceptualization of the cosmos. His association with the upper air aligns with the symbolic division of the sky, emphasizing the divine and eternal qualities of the celestial realms. The Moirai, often known as the Fates, were a group of 3 sisters who control human destiny and the thread of life. The 3 sisters were Clotho. She was the spinner, responsible for spinning the thread of life. She determined the circumstances of birth. Lachesis. She was the allotter or measurer, who determined the length of each individual's life and the experiences they had. Atropos. She was the unturnable or inevitable, responsible for cutting the thread of life at the appointed time of death. The Moirai were often considered daughters of Nyx, or, in some traditions, daughters of Zeus and Themis, emphasizing their connection to divine order. The decisions of the Moirai were considered final and inevitable. Their decrees cannot be altered or avoided, emphasizing the idea of fate as an inescapable force. They were often depicted as weavers, symbolizing the weaving of the tapestry of life. The thread they spun, measured, and cut represented the course of an individual's existence. The Moirai were respected by both gods and mortals. Even Zeus, the king of the gods, was said to be subject to their decrees. While they did not play central roles in many myths, they are often mentioned in stories that involve significant events in the lives of gods and heroes. Nemesis was the goddess of retribution and vengeance. She was typically depicted as a winged goddess carrying a whip or a dagger. Her appearance reflected her role as a force of retribution. Nemesis was primarily associated with the concept of retribution and balancing the scales of justice. She ensured that individuals received what they deserve based on their actions, particularly those involving hubris, excessive pride, and arrogance. Often invoked to punish those who display arrogance or excessive pride, challenging the natural order or the will of the gods. She ensured that individuals face consequences for their actions. In some traditions, Nemesis was associated with Tyche, the goddess of fortune and luck. Together, they represented the balance of fate, ensuring that both good and bad actions are appropriately rewarded or punished. The worship of Nemesis had a significant place in ancient Greek culture. The concept of retribution and the idea that one's actions would eventually catch up with them served as a moral lesson. She was mentioned in various myths where individuals challenge the gods or act with excessive pride. The goddess ensures that these individuals face the consequences of their actions. One notable story involves Nemesis cursing Narcissus for his vanity, which led to him staring into his own reflection in the water and eventually transforming into a flower. The term Nemesis has been adopted into English and is commonly used to refer to a formidable and unbeatable opponent or an agent of revenge. She played a crucial role in maintaining cosmic balance and justice in mythology. Her presence served as a reminder of the consequences that accompany actions that defy the natural order or challenge the authority of the gods. The personification of impending doom or fate. Moros was often depicted as a dark and shadowy figure, embodying the inescapable destiny that awaits individuals. He was often portrayed as a relentless and unavoidable force, representing the inevitable fate that awaits all living beings. His presence underscored the Greeks' understanding of the inescapable nature of destiny. Moros was known as the all-destroying god, wielded formidable power that defied the attempts of other gods to defeat him, relentlessly bringing misfortune to his victims. Even in the afterlife, he ensured their continued suffering. Moros takes on the form of an formless spirit tasked with the solemn duty of disclosing the day of an individual's imminent demise. Consequently, he acquired the moniker, the Spirit of Depression, as the souls informed of their impending deaths are burdened with sorrow and anguish. It was also said that Moros gave people the ability to foresee their death. His Roman equivalent was Fatum. He served as a personification of the broader concept of fate and the inexorable nature of destiny. His presence reinforced the idea that, despite individual agency and choices, there are overarching forces that shape the course of all lives. Oizys, the personification of misery and distress. Oizys was often portrayed as a sorrowful and troubled figure, representing the hardships and sorrows that accompany human existence. Her appearance reflects the emotional and psychological aspects of misery, distress, and sorrow. Oizys personifies the emotional and psychological experience of suffering, misery, and anguish. While other deities, such as the Fates and Nemesis, may be associated with external consequences, Oizys represents the internal and emotional aspects of hardship. In Roman mythology, her name was Miseria, where the modern term misery comes from. She characterized the spirit of the miserable human condition of deep sadness. Oizys represented the emotional and internal aspects of suffering in Greek mythology. Eris, the goddess of strife, discord, and chaos. She was typically portrayed as a disruptive and chaotic figure, bringing discord and strife wherever she goes. Her appearance is often associated with tumultuous events and conflicts. Eris played a significant role in Greek mythology as the instigator of discord and rivalry. Her actions often led to disputes among gods and mortals, and she reveled in creating chaos and sowing seeds of discord. One of the most well-known stories involving Eris was the Judgment of Paris, a contest that ultimately led to the Trojan War. Eris, uninvited to a divine wedding of Peleus and Thetis, tossed a golden apple inscribed with the words, "To the fairest," into the gathering. This act sparked a dispute among the goddesses Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite, each claiming the title of the fairest. Paris, a mortal, was tasked with judging, and his choice, Aphrodite, led to a series of events that culminated in the Trojan War. She was sometimes identified as a sister or companion of Ares, the god of war. Together, they represent the destructive and tumultuous aspects of conflict. Eris embodied the Greeks' understanding of the disruptive force of discord and the chaos that can arise from rivalry and conflict. She was the spirit of strife and mother to many other evil spirits released from Pandora's box. In Roman mythology, Eris was identified with the goddess Discordia, who shares similar attributes and functions. She stood as a powerful and influential figure in Greek mythology, representing the destabilizing force of discord that can have far-reaching consequences. Apate, the personification of deceit or deception. She was typically depicted as a cunning and sly figure, representing the concept of deceit. Her appearance and actions embody the qualities of manipulation and trickery. Apate personified the abstract concept of deception. She was associated with dishonesty, cunning, and the act of misleading others, which led to dire outcomes. While Apate may not be a central figure in many specific myths, the theme of deception was prevalent in various stories throughout Greek mythology. Deceptive actions and trickery often play a role in the struggles and conflicts among gods and mortals. Apate is briefly mentioned in Hesiod's Theogony, a poem that provides a genealogy of the gods. The mention reflects her place among the primordial and personified forces that shape the cosmos. The personification of affection, friendship, and sexual intercourse. She was typically depicted as a gentle and benevolent figure, embodied the positive and harmonious aspects of affectionate bonds between individuals. While Philotes may not played a central role in many myths, her influence was felt in the dynamics between gods and mortals. Philotes differs from Eros, the god of romantic love. While Eros was often associated with desire and passion associated with love, Philotes represents the concept of love that extends beyond romantic relationships to include friendship, camaraderie, familial bonds, and sexual desire. Philotes' role in mythology emphasized the broader understanding of the complexities of human relationships and the various forms of love that shape the experiences of both gods and mortals. The Hesperides were nymphs associated with the evening and the golden light of sunset. They were typically depicted as three sisters. The most commonly mentioned names for the Hesperides are Aegle, Erythea, and Hesperia. Sometimes their number and names may vary in different accounts. According to Hesiod, the Hesperides were the daughters of Nyx. However, many writers considered these beautiful nymphs daughters of Atlas. They were said to dwell in a beautiful garden located at the western edge of the world. This garden, often called the Garden of the Hesperides, was said to be a place of great beauty and abundance. One of the most well-known aspects of these nymphs were their role as the guardians of the golden apples. These apples, sometimes referred to as the apples of immortality or the golden apples of Hesperides, were a gift from the goddess Gaia to Hera on her wedding day. The apples were kept in the garden and were guarded by a dragon named Ladon. In the myth of Heracles, one of his 12 labours involved obtaining the golden apples from the garden. Eurystheus, the king who imposed the labours, tasked Heracles with bringing back the apples as part of his challenges. With their garden and the golden apples, add a mystical and enchanting element. Their role as guardians and the connection to the setting sun contributed to Greek myth, symbolising themes of beauty, immortality, and the magical qualities associated with twilight. The personification of old age. He was typically depicted as a frail and feeble figure, representing the physical and mental decline associated with old age. The concept of Geras encompassed the wear and tear that time imposed on the body and mind. Geras personified the inevitability of aging and the accompanying challenge that come with the passage of time. The concept of aging and its impact on mortality was a recurring theme in various myths and stories. He was mentioned in Hesiod's Works and Days, where he was described as a brother to other personified beings, such as Hypnos and Thanatos. This work provided guidance on ethics, work, and the inevitabilities of life. His inclusion into the Greek pantheon underscores the recognition of the inevitable passage of time and the impact it has on the physical and mental aspects of life, contributing to the broader understanding of the human condition. Momus, the personification of mockery, blame, and criticism. He was typically depicted as a cynical and fault-finding figure. His role was to criticize and find fault in the actions, creations, and decisions of both gods and mortals. Momus was not popular among the other gods, and his mockery got him banished from Olympus. He personified the concept of constructive or, more often, destructive criticism. He was known for his ability to find flaws and shortcomings in everything. His critiques are often fueled by a desire to expose imperfections and shortcomings. Momus' presence underscores the potential negative consequences of excessive criticism and highlights the importance of balance and constructive evaluation in both divine and mortal affairs. The Keres were female death spirits and are often associated with violent or cruel deaths on the battlefield. They play a role in collecting the souls of those who die violent deaths. The primary function of the Keres were to bring about the death of individuals, especially in situations involving bloodshed and violence. They are associated with the chaotic and brutal nature of death on the battlefield. The Keres were sometimes described as vulture-like or with the features of birds of prey. Their dark wings and ominous presence evoke the fearsome aspects of death. In Greek mythology, the Keres were often present on the battlefield, where they swoop down to claim the souls of those who die in combat. Their association with violent death distinguishes them from other spirits or deities related to the afterlife. They add a darker and more ominous element to the realm of death in Greek mythology. Their association with violence and battlefield deaths emphasize the harsh realities of war and the relentless nature of death in certain circumstances. Elpis, the personification of hope. She was generally referred to as a young woman offering flowers or cornucopia. She embodied the concept of hope, representing the optimistic anticipation and expectation for positive outcomes. Elpis played a vital role in the human experience, offering a beacon of optimism in times of adversity. She symbolized the enduring belief in a better future. Often depicted as a young woman, Elpis radiated a sense of resilience and positivity. Her presence was a counterbalance to the darker aspects associated with Nyx's other children. In the story of Pandora, Elpis was the only spirit that remains in Pandora's box after all the other troubles escape, underscoring the enduring nature of hope. The significance of hope being excluded from humanity is a subject of debate, with two prominent perspectives. One viewing it as a simple irony and a curse upon mankind, and the other interpreting it as the ancient Greeks' pessimistic view of hope. Her presence served as a reminder of the enduring human spirit, offering solace and anticipation for a brighter tomorrow amidst the challenges of life. Other possible children of the Dark Goddess. Nyx, various ancient writers, shared diverse perspectives on the genealogy of the gods. While some reiterated Hesiod's list of Nyx's children, contradictions and variations arose. In the Orphic tradition, Ouranos, typically considered a child of Gaia, was named a child of Nyx, and the Astra Planeta, usually offspring of Astraeus and Eos, were also attributed to Nyx. Contradictions persisted regarding Hecate, the Erinyes, Deimos, Ponos, Styx, Eros, Dolos, and Ophrosine, as their parentage shifted among different sources. Some additional names, like Eleos, Sophrosine, Epiphron, and Hybris, were occasionally cited without contradictions, though they deviated from the darker nature associated with Nyx's children. Moreover, malevolent demons in antiquity, including Anaidea, Epiales, Aklis, the Arai, Alastor, Aporia, the Maniai, Eurynamos, and the Nosoi, were often considered children of Nyx due to their ominous characteristics. As we conclude our journey through the children of Nyx, we've witnessed the vast spectrum of deities and personifications that emerged from the primordial goddess of night. From the gentle embrace of Hypnos and the Oneiroi in the realm of dreams, to the relentless forces of retribution embodied by Nemesis, Nyx's offspring reflect the complexity of the human experience. Whether it's the enchanting beauty of the Hesperides, or the dark inevitability personified by Moros, Nyx's children collectively contribute to the intricate fabric of Greek mythology. We hope you've enjoyed this exploration into the realms of night and the diverse entities that inhabit it. Until next time, may the stories of Nyx's children continue to captivate and inspire.